Hello and welcome to ASL Chennai Speaks Out. I'm Sanjay Pinto. When the highest court of the land says, if two adults want to live together, what's the offense made out? Then it's bound to trigger a debate across the country. Does the right to live enshrined in our constitution and guaranteed in fact include the right to live in? Will this lead to a new sexual revolution of sorts in the country with judicial blessing? In that case, why are live-in relationships then constantly under the ethical radar and the vigil of the moral brigade? Is marriage the only relationship recognized by the moral police? To have a go right away, we've got Sanoba Sultana, RJ of Chennai Live 104.8 FM, Naina Shah, an activist, or shall we say a hyperactive parent, Carrie Edwards, entertainer, likes to be called superhero, which he is anyway, he plays various roles, Sudhish Kamath, special correspondent of The Hindu. We've got Mr. Kannan, organizing secretary of the Hindu Makkal Kachi. Live-in relationships, ladies and gentlemen, that's our topic today. Should society back off? Sudhish Kamath, to you first.
Yeah.
How would you define live-in relationships? 0% commitment and 100% experiment?
Yeah, there is an experiment part of it, but I guess every relationship goes through experiments because relationships are forged over a period of time. So I guess people need time to figure out whether they are compatible with each other or not, and with increasing divorce rates, I think it's all the more important. More so if you believe that marriage is a sacred institution, don't rush into it, just test it out and see if you are compatible before rushing into it.
Naina Shah, that's an interesting point. He calls marriage an institution, which has almost become a cliche today. But most youngsters agree with Sudhish Kamath. They say, yes, marriage is an institution, but we don't want to spend our lives in an institution.
I totally disagree with that. One thing, this institution has a meaning. It has been made for a certain reason. There's something like security. There's something like a commitment. And again, just this live-in relationship, really, is it really ethical? In the sense, we are in a country, if we say it for us as Indians, our culture is important. And our culture doesn't teach about try and test sex just before marriage. We've always given that importance to it. And here today, they want to try out everything. It would be just live-in. No
right, Carrie, what Naina is saying is that live-in relationships are all about chemistry, not about chemistry, but only biology.
Well, here's the thing. I mean, there are other things that we kind of need to talk about in that sense. Now, one of the things that you brought up earlier was the whole sex angle. Why is it that female virginity is such a big deal, whereas men,
You know what? They think it is a big deal. That's what Kushbu said and got into trouble. Why is it such a big deal, Mr. Kannan? Why did you go around protesting when Kushbu made those remarks?
No, actually, the issue regarding Kushbu, which was highlighted in the media, is a different thing.
Kushbu said, just to brush up our memory, Kushbu said, no educated man today would expect his wife to be a virgin.
We don't want these type of live-in relationships to spoil the Indian culture. Because Indian culture is the pride of India. We don't want
so Indian culture means filing multiple cases against one poor actress. Indian culture means showing slippers and brooms outside the court halls. Is that Indian culture, sir?
See, there are certain things which you can't experiment. I don't want my baby and your baby play with our baby. It is not our culture. Our culture is very orthodox. It is very, we value our moral things. These people, they are made as matinee idols. They are taken as role models. When they are in their thing, what they are doing, we are to protest against them.
The Supreme Court wants to know what's wrong with what Kushbu said.
Do you mean to say that each and everybody obeys Supreme Court order?
No, I'm asking you. Supreme Court, that's the highest court of the law of the land. It interprets the law of the land.
Issue regarding in Tamil Nadu and Karnataka, the Supreme Court has ordered, the Karnataka government is not yet obeying it. The Kerala government is not obeying the Supreme Court order regarding Mullai Periyar Dam. Afzal Guru was given death sentence. His mercy petition is pending before the president. Nobody questions that. See, the Mullai Periyar and Kaveri water are the two issues of bread and butter of lakhs of people. Nobody questions that. But people take these small things into consideration. When we question the live-in relation thing, these moral things, they are trying to blow it up.
Carrie, you want to respond?
I have a problem with this whole use of the word culture, because by culture they're implying practices which have been followed over the centuries. So I want to know, how back can you go in time? 5 generations, if I ask you who was the 6th generation, you won't even know the name of your 6th generation
but
ancestor. Secondly, just because it's been done over years does not make it right. There's been sati, there's been child marriage, kids used to get married, there are still instances of marital rape.
Yeah, okay, and barbaric days we were nude, now we are dressed up.
We're very clearly saying that Indian culture has existed for 1,000 years without the necessity of people to sit there and protect the culture. So why suddenly are genes becoming detrimental to our culture? Why suddenly is hair product becoming detrimental to our culture? And that really is as trivial as it gets. I mean, these are things that...
Do you think a woman is like a car that you can test drive? I mean, that's what a live-in relationship is all about.
No, it's also about the woman testing the man to see if she wants to drive that.
Also, this is the case where the car tests the driver. I mean, do you really want to end up with a person that doesn't know how to drive you in that context? I mean, probably not.
Now look at this, okay?
See, marital services are 2 ways. It's not just one way. You know,
I understand, but live-in is like a marriage in recession, all right? You don't want to go through, you don't want responsibility. The minute you're a little upset, you want to walk out. Marriage actually gives you a chance to sustain the relationship.
What's wrong with a practical trial balloon?
What is this trial? What are human beings? Some objects for pleasure? In live-in relationships, do you consider procreation?
You are implying that live-in relationships are only about lust. It could be about 100%. Love. And love is unconditional, and marriage means a bond. There's a conflict between something unconditional and
in a live-in relationship do you people sit and think of procreation? If it is not lust, then what is live-in relationship? What do you do for the 3 months? You see how compatible you are.
In a live-in relationship, there's no home really in that sense. It's like a joint where you walk in and walk away.
Absolutely not. 100%. Every time people think about live-in relationships, they're thinking about these short-term, we'll spend some time together. If it doesn't work, well, it doesn't work.
But why can't you go through a period of courtship instead? Why live in?
Yeah.
Because, okay, let me put it to you like this. There are certain things, there are certain idiosyncrasies that we all have, and sometimes, in order to figure out whether oil and water mixes, someone actually had to put oil and water together. Right? Now, if you don't put oil and water together, you're not going to figure it out.
You can experiment with oil and water, not with the...
But why not? Why not with human beings?
People.
Why are you so uncomfortable with the word sex?
We can't allow individuals to damage the society.
No. My question is, if we live in a free country...
I want to ask you, one second. Since we talk about society all the time, let me ask you. Since societal acceptance is almost the in thing today, that's at least the philosophy of your party and what you claim to profess. Will society chip in if people are married and have problems? Will your party chip in?
Yeah, see, we have elder people of our family to care of our things.
No, will your party, will Hindu Makkal Kachi chip in if married couples have problems?
Definitely, sir, we will chip in.
You have staged demonstrations.
Would you like it if I tell you don't fight with your wife? Your wife is right.
We are against domestic violence.
So have you taken up cases of domestic violence? You have taken up cases of couples holding hands. Sania Mirza getting married to Shoaib Malik. But have you protested? Have you protested? No. Have you protested? Have you protested?
We protested against Sania Mirza.
You can't outshot me. Have you protested when somebody is beating up his wife? Have you protested? Have you taken up such causes?
See,
have you or have you not?
Yeah, we have protested,
times,
sir.
How many times?
Many times, sir. See, we can't have all those. We can't calculate how many times.
At least you didn't tell the media then. You didn't tell the media then.
I have the right to his bedroom. I want to know if I have the right to his bedroom. My question is not if he's protested. Do I have the right to tell him what to do? If I have the right to tell you what you should do, then you have the right to tell me. Otherwise, it's none of your business. It's none of my business. That's how it works.
See, now we are not entering into any individual's thing, but.
You are. If by telling me I should not have a live-in relationships, you are entering into my space, which is when I tell you, mind your business,
when we are trying to advocate in public, we are trying to protest it.
No, live-in relationship is a very private choice. If people want to live in, they live in.
So, Desh, how would you like it if a youngster today, 14, 15, comes out in the world and says...
You're confusing issues. 14, 15 is no age to live in.
People who are mature, adults who are mature.
No, I'm saying, hear me out. You're 14, 15, you're entering into a world...
If you have sex with a person who's less than 16, it's rape under the
law. I understand. My point is not that. I'm talking about youngsters today who are entering into the world, who are seeing adults around them behave in a certain manner. Don't you think that was said? How many examples have we seen? Teen pregnancies. You know how much of that is an issue right now in our country?
That's where the role of a parent comes in, and that's where the role of parenting.
You're denying that opportunity. You're saying let's experiment.
As a parent, ask the parent. As a parent,
trying to tell me marriage is a reason for parenting. That's not necessary at all.
Here's my issue. We need to get licenses to drive cars. We need to get licenses to fly planes, and we don't need licenses to have children. All we need is a bottle of alcohol and a broken condom, and boom, the next thing you know, you're a parent, and you don't know.
We have made 1 billion children in this country, so let's not talk about...
Yeah. I mean, are you honestly telling me that 1.2 or 1.3 billion people that we have right now are being raised the way children are meant to be raised? I don't think so.
That's my whole problem. Despite having an institution like this, still you have so many children not taking care.
The problem
Carrie,
is...
it's all very nice, I mean, to talk in debates like this, but practically speaking, let's say there's a child born out of a live-in relationship. There are complications there. The father's name, inheritance of property.
Yes.
How do you propose to solve these problems?
What do you call that woman who's in a live-in relationship? How will you introduce her in public?
Okay, whoever is responsible to bring that baby into the world are responsible for its welfare and its well-being. And if you're grown-up adults enough to take responsibility of a live-in relationship, you take responsibility of the child.
Okay, let me ask
or any other
Sanoba, the Malimat committee, valid point there. The Malimat committee had recommended that the scope of section 125 of the CRPC be widened to include, to convert a live-in partner, given the status of a wife, particularly women. Even the National Commission for Women had moved to this idea. So a woman who's living in with a man over a reasonable period of time to be defined by the law will actually be entitled to alimony. So you're giving them a foothold.
No, what is this?
So even the law has recognized and has, at a very practical level, made this allowance.
Why did that law come about, Sanjay? Why did that law come about?
Because we evolve as a society.
No, not necessarily. See, in a live-in relationship, if a man is going to walk out, which is happening 99% of the time, and I don't have statistics to prove that, but
show of hands, how many of you believe that the man walks out 99% of the time? Show of hands. Reality check, ma'am.
To aid the woman who might, if abandoned by the man, has some form of support. That's precisely why that whole law even came into being, to help that woman. At the end of the day, what are you telling, Sanjay? After 5 years of whatever services you provide me, I therefore hand over the alimony to you, and now I'm doing a great service to this woman. Is that what should be really applauded? I don't agree with it. No.
The service to the woman is giving her the freedom to choose who she lives with or without tying her down to a marriage. The minute you tie her down to a marriage, you have a whole lot of elders like him telling the woman to adjust and live. And
women are not
He's a young man. Don't call him an elder. He's a young man.
You don't have to listen to anybody. You have a choice to live
when
your life.
When you say you don't have to listen to anybody, then why did I get married?
Of course you have to marry. It's about the what happens to the children, what happens to the woman's security, what happens to her security.
Marriage is not something that lasts forever either.
There is no way, today there is no legal binding. Today there is no legal binding.
If you love something, set it free. If you believe a woman needs to be liberated, set her free. Let her be a working woman, let her be an independent woman.
Forget the case, Sara. No, the case, Sara. Okay, now.
You have to get into this living relationship.
I don't see why you should fight for women.
As an enlightened person, as a modern, progressive mother, which I think you are, we have progressed as a society. We've evolved from child marriages, as Sudesh rightly pointed out, to love marriages, and now live-in. What's the problem in keeping up with their times? Supreme Court has no problem. What's your problem?
I'm ready to keep up with. I allow courtship. I would say, please find out for yourself.
This courtship, are you 100% positive there's no sex involved during courtship?
Where
are you able to say for sure
that
there is no sex involved?
There is no 100% guarantee about anything.
So
if somebody wants to have sex, can do it with or without it.
Yes.
That's not the point here. The point here is about live-in relationship. You're saying there's no understanding, no this thing. You have to find out, you have to try, test it.
Live-in relationships are not just about sex. It's also about understanding and love. Unconditional love. Okay, unconditional love.
How true is it?
You are talking about live-in relationships as an equivalent of lust or an excuse to have unlimited sex.
But having said that, Sudesh, I mean, the other thing that we also need to think about is how often is marriage about unconditional love? Yes. How often is marriage about unconditional love? In India, with the arranged marriage, it is for the most part a business practice. Why do we still uphold dowry? Yeah. A woman is basically property.
You can answer that because I asked Carrie about whether it's like it's not a home, it's a walk-in and walk-away joint. Similarly, there are also marriages of convenience, money marrying money.
See, even that, if you think that live-in relationship has changed, so has marriage. Today, you have more and more educated couples who are coming out in the open.
No, educated couples, I'm glad you said that. Yeah. I'm glad you said that educated couples, because gone are the days when you had...
Divorce rates are increasing because of intolerance.
So now he's saying
intolerance.
Wait. I'm sorry.
So what is the new theory you've propounded on this show?
Did you just say that divorce rates are going up because of love marriages? Let me tell you, if that is true, it is only because in an arranged marriage situation, the woman does not get the right or the opportunity to defend herself. That's why a woman in an arranged marriage will be shunned from society if she gets divorced. That is the bottom line. When you have a progressive system like a love marriage,
educated women. Sano spoke about educated women. Gone are the days when at 21 people tell you you're still not off the shelf, you need to get married. Today the rules have changed. Today women want to focus on their career.
Rules have changed, Sanjay, but what you're essentially telling here is, you know, you're young, you're ambitious, you want to pursue your career, but you don't want to be tied down by marriage. That's what most youngsters are doing. If you look at live-in relationships per se, it's for convenience. We both are successful, you know, I don't want to stay alone.
But there are marriages of convenience also. Money marrying money, caste marrying
That's
caste,
all right.
community marrying community. You want to keep the
We are
family wealth
talking
within your
marriage as an
community.
institution, then for what reason here it is about live-in relationships and marriages?
You spoke about courtship also a short while ago.
Yeah,
Let me
so
tell
yeah,
you,
you
courtship
said-
you spoke about, why can't you
Yeah.
get to know each other during courtship? But then during courtship, it's a question of pampering the angel.
Yeah.
And after marriage, it's taming of the shrew sometimes.
How,
No.
how sure are you that this is going to happen even in the live-in
I think you made
relationship?
your point, Sanjay, for being a moderator.
No, I'm just a moderator. No.
I think that was a very, very good point, because courtship is never and will never be anything like the realities of marriage. Now, I'll give you an example. Now, I've been with my girlfriend for like 4 years, okay? But until the point that we actually started spending a lot of time together within my house, we don't live together, but she does spend a lot of time at my house. And that's when I realized that there are all of these things that, you know, I'm not completely happy about. Like, there might be small things, like, you know, she doesn't close a door behind her. And it drives me insane. Now, think of that, spending like your entire life. Now,
Probably
you
you
might
leave
consider...
you leave towels on the bed, perhaps.
I absolutely don't. The thing
And
is that
keep the
I'm
toilet
extremely
seat
picky
open,
about...
but is that the prerequisite for finding a
I think
potential
the prerequisite
soulmate?
is compatibility. And
Okay.
what you're willing to do and what you're willing
Daddy,
to
is
not
it
do,
not
and you
sufficient?
can't find
Is
that
it
out
not-
until you're
you-
together.
you
And
want
also
to
the
live?
importance of romance in this world. Okay, romance is about uncertainty. It's about unconditional love. And in the period of courtship or in the period of living in, the uncertainty keeps the adventure alive. It keeps the romance alive. The minute you make it a part of a system, then there are roles assigned, there are functions. You go get the bread, I'll take care of children. Today, I'll take care of children, you do the
See,
cooking.
You made your point, Sudesh. People are worried about responsibilities.
I'm not against marriage. I'm
Why
saying
not?
marriage could also be there along with this institution of living
You're
relationship.
worried about segregation of
This
responsibilities.
non-institution of living
You're
relationship.
worried
I'm
about
saying that
segregation of
there is,
responsibilities.
let the
What
individual
worries
choose
me-
when he
what
wants to
worries
live
me
in, when he
more-
wants to get married. Let him
So,
choose. Let him
okay, you
choose
tell
when he
me,
wants to
okay,
get
what
married.
is the optimum time? So
I
this
could
for a
get married
person,
when I'm 50, I
no,
could get married when I'm
what is
60.
the optimum
There is
time
no
in live in
such rule.
relationship?
Why should you put a rule on when I should get
How much
married?
time do you need to get to know each other? You tell me.
Okay, give her a ballpark figure. Give her a ballpark figure.
There is no ballpark figure.
There is no, it's up to
The
up to
question
who
is,
you-
the question
there are
is,
people
why
who-
does everything
who
have
you
to
could fall in
lead
love with
to
first sight and
marriage?
decide I want to spend
That
my
is the
life
Why
with
question.
not is
this
the
person.
question.
No, why should it? Do we not have an
What is
option?
your problem with marriage?
Are we not in a society? Are we not smart enough to be able to live
Do you have a
together?
problem with marriage?
Absolutely. I think marriage is a bogus.
You have a problem with marriage?
Absolutely.
So
I
are
think
you
that
trying to
marriage
tell me
is a
you're never going to
completely
get married?
bogus institution.
Are you telling me you're never going to get married?
Absolutely.
Okay.
All right, on that note, since Carrie has already made what, I don't know what to call, what vows are these, but we'll slide into a short break on SL Chennai Speaks Out. When we come back, we'll ask our panelists about the emotional quotient as well.